Let me give you 3 be frugal ideas in this video. The first is book an interior room. Book an inside stateroom. Now I know many people think they would be claustrophobic in an interior. I know many people absolutely feel like they must have a balcony. But the way I figure it, every one of the weather decks is my oversized balcony, because I don't spend much time in my stateroom anyway. Our stateroom is largely a place to sleep and to shower. I sleep just as well in my interior stateroom as some do in their balcony stateroom or in their aft suite. And my shower works just fine in my interior stateroom. I am not going to spend a great deal of time in my stateroom, and so why should I spend such considerable sums of money for a different type of stateroom if I'm not going to be there very much? I've often told people that when I close my eyes at night to go to sleep, my interior stateroom looks identical to that pricey suite on the back of the ship. Our stateroom is basically just a come and go place for us. In fact, it's that way for many people, even people who have paid for rather impressive balcony suites. When we did the Panama Canal and we were standing on the aft of the ship, a great vista for doing the canal, there was a lady standing beside us who admitted to us that she had a suite pointed toward it down directly below us on the aft of the ship. But there she was on the top deck with us watching the scenery. That's often the case for many, many people. My interior stateroom gets me access to almost all the same opportunities and privileges and places on board as even the most pricey accommodations. Only those who stay in elite protected areas have access to areas that I do not. And I'm doing my cruise for a lot less money than others. An interior stateroom is the most easily obtained way to save money on a cruise. Number 2, a guaranteed stateroom. We've alluded to this in a previous session, but a guaranteed stateroom is a stateroom where you just pay for a stateroom in a category. They guarantee you'll get a stateroom in that category or better, and they'll assign it to you before sailing. And if you'll give them the latitude to move you wherever they need to move you in order to sell other staterooms to other people, to upgrade people who wish to pay for upgrades, then you may get a very good room for a token amount of money. But at the very least, you're going to get a room at the level that you have paid for. Now, in many cases, the upgrade from the guaranteed stateroom to the lowest level of a chosen interior stateroom is not that great. Some people would like to gamble, hoping they're going to get a balcony when they book a guaranteed interior. Can happen, does happen, not likely to happen. So you may want to consider that modest amount of money that it usually is to move from the guaranteed interior to the lowest level of an interior that you select yourself. Sometimes that's not possible because sometimes the only thing left to sell are guarantees because they have berths on board, but that is dependent upon them being able to put everybody where they want to put them. So they'll sell guaranteed staterooms so they can move some other people who've already paid better money than you're paying to someplace and give you their previously assigned stateroom. But a guaranteed stateroom is almost always a money saver. You might want to consider a couple of things about that. You might want to consider the danger of being at the lowest level if that bothers you. If you find ascending all the decks to get to something higher up a difficulty, but that lower level interior gives you quicker access on days of ports of call. We have been down low, been very close to the medical clinic. Not normally a problem, but we were on one sailing and there seemed to be an unusually high number of sick people, and they crowded around the medical center just down the corridor from us. And yes, we both apparently contracted the flu at the end of that cruise and came home and were sick following the cruise. So you might want to keep things like that in mind, but a guaranteed stateroom is a way to get a bargain. One third way of securing a bargain is not just to book an interior or a guaranteed stateroom, but it is to take out a cruise branded credit card. Almost all the cruise lines tend to have one, and they often make some very, very generous offers to get you to take it. Now, you will not find me recommending you take credit if you cannot handle credit. If you cannot handle credit, a credit card is not going to save you money, it's going to cost you money. But if you can manage credit properly, taking out a credit card branded by a cruise line may be a huge cost factor for you. I accepted one very generous offer. It allowed me to take statement credits for items charged from that cruise line, and I was able to take statement credits in advance of the cruise totaling $550. It meant that one of us was almost getting on that cruise ship for free. It was almost the equivalent of one cruise fare. So that's a pretty good deal to do that. These credit cards branded by the cruise line typically give you better rewards for expenses spent with the cruise line than elsewhere, and it can be a great way to save up your points, cash them in, and sell for much less.